Saturday night here on the Big 550 KTRS, it is the Bronze Boot, which is a match, a friendly, between St. Louis University and SIUE, and it has been around for a long, long time and considered one of the best regional contests and one of the most attended NCAA soccer games in the history of the NCAA soccer. And it all got its start right here in St. Louis, and it all got it started by this next guest's family. Chris, say your last name for me.
Carenza.
Chris Carenza from the Big 550 KTRS. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now
let me just say,
yes.
Thanks for having me,
yes.
And it's an honor to be here. My family appreciates this opportunity to talk about the origin and the history of the Joseph Carenza Sr. Bronze Boot Trophy.
Which is your father.
My father.
Yes. Now, I should pull a Jack Buck on you and take all those notes and rip them up and let you talk because you know this stuff better than anybody.
Well, thank you.
So you gave me a call the other day and said, because we were talking about the Bronze Boot. It's going to air on KTRS Saturday night. And you called me up and said, hey, I don't know if you know enough of the history. Can I come on and talk about it?
Sure.
Your father started this when?
So the first game between St. Louis U and SIUE was 1969. It was an NCAA playoff match.
Oh.
The next year, 1970, was the year I went to SIU with my brother John. We played them twice that year at SIU. And so Pop was the executive secretary of the CYC sports program, saw how it was heating up, and said, we got to make this a rivalry, and we'll turn it into a bronze boot match, because the CYC had already had the gold boot and the silver boot. So my dad's idea was make it a bronze boot.
Yeah.
So the first bronze boot actually was 1971.
1971.
Yes.
And that was
yes.
In terms of the nomenclature?
And so that's exactly right. We played him in the regular season as the bronze boot match, and then after that, we played in the NCAA playoffs. So
yeah.
we were playing them like twice a year.
Now, SIUE, very good soccer school. St. Louis SLU, a very good soccer school, right, over the years.
Sure.
And part of the great St. Louis soccer tradition, this has grown to be, at one point, the largest spectator what's the title here?
So let me back you up a little, okay?
Yeah.
If I may.
Yeah.
So in 1971, my dad basically helped create the Bronze Boot Trophy.
Okay.
And it was going so well that in 1972 he moved it. He was the executive secretary of the CYC, co-sponsoring this event. They moved it to Busch Stadium in 1972. That year we had 15,000 people at Busch Stadium.
Wow.
Okay. That game ended in we call it the 3-1 tie. Thank you for laughing.
I love the people just don't forget, man. They don't forget.
Oh, you're going to get calls on this one. But it actually ended in a 1-1 draw. And because of the controversy, 2 goals by SIU were called back, and the game officially ended as a 1-1 tie.
Uh-huh.
Because of that controversy, the next year, in 1973, there were 20,000 people at Busch Stadium. And then it went back and forth. And then in 1980, it actually drew 22,512 people, and that's the largest season soccer match in college soccer history in the United States.
Wow!
And if I may, from 1971 to 1971 to 1980, my dad was co-sponsor with the CYC, and he promoted it. And so he was he was directly involved in it and helped create the largest soccer crowd in the history of the game.
Now, it went. When did it stop in its first go around?
So it continued on until the 90s, and then what happened was SIU went Division II.
Okay.
Basically, that's the reason that it stopped.
Okay, got it.
Went on hiatus, and then it picked it up again.
So now it's been back how many years now?
I'm not sure when it came back. I think it was like I'm not really sure when.
Okay, but it hasn't been too long. It was the last couple of years.
It's been the last 3 or 4. I think it was before COVID.
Okay.
So it started back up before COVID.
But because of this new St. Louis City soccer phenomenon going on, this has now breathed new life into this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let me just say, as a person who grew up in St. Louis soccer, and my family, of course, we are all so grateful for St. Louis City Soccer Club, Carolyn Kindle, the ownership group with Jim Cavanaugh,
right,
and everybody who has made the St. Louis City Soccer Club a real, not just a happening, but a cultural shift in that they're revitalizing the city of St. Louis, and the reaches of this are all over. I went to a game in New York, 2 games, one in New York and one in New Jersey, Red Bulls and FC, and they're talking about St. Louis up there. Yeah. Last week, I was match director in the Minnesota game between Seattle. They're talking about it up there. This is not just a city, St. Louis City thing. It's nationwide, and they're doing a phenomenal job. Carolyn Kindle's staff, Joe Abernathy, Alex Rivas, Sam Wass, those guys are real pros and do a great job.
Well, let's stay on the soccer side of it for a second, and then we can talk about the sort of effects of what's going on. They're in first place.
Yes.
An expansion team being in first place is unheard of in all of sports.
Right.
That just doesn't happen.
Right. And not only are they in first place, but they're exciting to watch. Bradley Cornell, the manager, has done a great job in bringing a great – now, I'm a soccer guy and I'm a traditionalist, and I've been around for a while. But he's doing a great job of bringing a very effective soccer side to St. Louis, but it's very entertaining soccer. And they really put on a show, and that's why they're sold out all the time, because they do such a great job.
Well, it's interesting, just as watching you soccer people from afar, you're all experts, right? Everyone else is wrong, but everyone who's a soccer guy knows how to right? So
now,
it's
you're going to test my memory here, aren't you?
No. It's amazing to me that you all agree, right? Everyone knows how to coach the team. Everyone knows how to play. Everyone knows how to build a team. It's just interesting that they're doing it. And, it's just remarkable. I don't think people realize, whether you know the sport or not, how remarkable it is for a first season like this.
Yeah, and that's an interesting comment coming from a baseball guy. Because, you know what? It is phenomenal, and this is the first time in my life that I've seen the soccer community come together behind something and not only appreciate it and support it, but they're all over it, and it's the first time people from St. Louis all over, men and women, have agreed on how great something is, and we're all very appreciative. Going back to my dad would be he would be so excited and happy about what Carolyn Kindle's done, what St. Louis City's done, and the revitalization of the St. Louis.
So they play the games there, but also they have these extra matches there, like this Bronze Boot Saturday,
right?
Which you might have a special stray concert at Busch Stadium once in a while, but there are all sorts of events, soccer games that are being played at this stadium throughout the year that are not St. Louis City, like this Bronze Boot. And talking about revitalizing, Maggie O'Brien's has been completely redone.
Completely redone.
Union Station is phenomenal.
The pitch.
But their practice fields are right there. So you've got all of that. And then you have, and I know you might, some people do, I sit on the Great Rivers Greenway board. They're in the middle of the Brookline, building that out. So you're going to have bike paths from the stadium to Tower Grove Park to Fairgrounds Park to Forest Park. That is extraordinary what's taking place.
That's exactly right, McGraw, and everybody is so grateful about that for what this ownership group has brought to the city of St. Louis. And, we can't say enough. I talked to Cale Wasserman, the coach at SIU. I talked to Kevin Kalish, the coach of St. Louis U. Athletic directors Andrew Gavin from SIU, Chris May from St. Louis U. Everybody, and all these people are individual experts in their own right. Yeah. Everybody agrees that this is a phenomenal event to bring back the Joe Carenza Bronze Boot match. and what an opportunity for the student athletes to get to play
Sure.
in a state of the art stadium that is unbelievable. The first game, I don't know if you went down there or not. It was like a World Cup match in Italy. I went to the 1990 World Cup in Italy, and it was like a festival. And it went on for hours, and it was like that in St. Louis City because of everything that's been going on here.
Yeah, a lot of bad news been around St. Louis and St. Louis City, but this is something that's not getting enough attention on the positive side.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's why I appreciate so much you having me on this show because we believe and I'm an old guy, so I go back to the beginning of the Joe Carenza Bronze Boot.
Well, your dad's name's on the trophy. It's something special for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly right. It is very special to me and my family. And so he promoted it from 1971 to 1980. In 1981, he was killed in a motor vehicle accident right out here on 270 on his way to an SIU Quincy soccer game.
Oh.
And the year in '82, they got together and they renamed the trophy the Joseph Carenza Sr. Bronze Boot Trophy after him because of his contribution, because of how much he had promoted it, and they had gotten a record crowd just in 1980. So,
great story.
Yeah.
So tickets still available Saturday night?
SeatGeek, yes, absolutely. And this rivalry has been going on, since
30, 40 years. 50 years.
Yeah. So there are tickets available. You can go to SeatGeek and get tickets. And
but that'd be fun for the students of the two schools.
Absolutely,
go and have some fun and get a little rivalry going and a little.
Absolutely, and it's I think it's $20 for a ticket, but you can go there and have fun. You can be part of history because this matchup, this rivalry that's been going on since the early 70s is going to only continue to grow and be something even bigger than it is now.
Yeah.